pigment, right? Right. Is so melanin pigment, right? Right. Is so unbelievable, George. They're using it in computer chips now because it has an ability to transduce electrical energy. Can you imagine this? It has this incredible ability to hold on to and transduce and manipulate electrons, electronic energy, and photons, photonic energy. It's a fascinating molecule. Melanin pigment, right? Right. Is so.
People said it was conspiracy theory why the abduction rate and the missing children's rate in America for melanated children, Americans have allowed themselves to be called black and put themselves on a color adjective. So for the quote unquote black children, it's always, people say it's a conspiracy theory of the facts of the rate of missing children when it comes to quote unquote black children. Then we say it's conspiracy theory why Haiti is going through what they're going through. People say it's a conspiracy theory why we saw videos during the pandemic of a plane, cargo plane full of African children being abducted, and the plane was not allowed to leave. And then recently again, another mass abduction. Everybody likes to call things conspiracy theories, and that's what they throw on it, right? And that is predominantly an Anglo-Saxon phrase that has been used to demonize any content for you to stop and ponder. They label it conspiracy theory and you just keep swiping, right? And then now they come up with these things and nobody stops to pause and say, hold on a minute, what did you just say? Keep listening.
Breakthrough coming out of Mexico. Very important scientific breakthrough coming out of Mexico in 2002. Human melanin is the human chlorophyll, as the chlorophyll pigment allows plants to convert sunlight to energy. Melanin is now known as a proven fact is human chlorophyll. It has the same power to convert sunlight into both water and electricity.
Science. Melanin is the chemical key to life. There is nothing else to study in science but melanin. We call it chemi, which means black. The people who study melanin particles call what they're studying, the scientists call chemistry. What you call chemistry, the study of melanin particles that go around in an orbit, and we call them electrons, protons, solitons. Those are melanin particles. That's why we call it chemistry. And if you study chemistry or heard of chemistry and haven't heard the word melanin, you have just been studying social science.
Almoravids, the Moors, the Almohads, the Almoravids, the Umayyad Caliphate, Al-Maghrib, Al-Morocco, the Al-Moroccan Empire, those dark-skinned, swarthy, woolly-haired people that conquered and ruled over Europe for about 700, 800 years. That's right, the Moors. They were all up and down the Iberian Peninsula. And at a time when Europeans were barely just crawling out of the caves and learning how to wipe their ass, the Moors brought with them a high level of civilization. Art, architecture, music, philosophy, science, construction and building skills. Taught the Europeans how to build castles. Matter of fact, built some of the most glorious structures in Europe and ushered in what's commonly referred to as the Renaissance. That's right, the Moors. But one thing we conveniently leave out of that equation is what else did the Moors bring with them to Europe? The Moors.
Our leaders, our ancestors who fought the wars of resistance, their heads, their remains are sitting in jars throughout Europe. And the same people have the audacity to come to Africa and talk to us about human rights. But what's even more disturbing is that we entertain them and we don't remind them of these skeletons in their closet.
From a Neanderthal. This is the skull of a modern human, and this is from a Neanderthal. Look closely and you can see that this one has a slightly longer brain case. Most scientists believe that these are two separate species, and there wasn't much interaction between the two. But now we know there was interbreeding, and that all non-Africans living today are part Neanderthal. The researchers extracted...
Just in case that went over your head, all non-Africans living today are part Neanderthal. Non-Africans. So that's why the heading says Africans are the only ones that do not have, because the non-Africans are the ones who have it. So let me just pull that back just in case that went over your head. When you guys want to tell us about we must go back in bushes and all this stuff because of the lies that they've put in all of the literature by burning truth, and then you have people talking about the Inquisition and the Crusades are all lies and all, like, because they've been known to always tell the truth, right? Yeah, okay.
This is the skull of a modern human, and this is from a Neanderthal. Look closely and you can see that this one has a slightly longer brain case. Most scientists believe that these are two separate species, and there wasn't much interaction between the two. But now we know there was interbreeding, and that all non-Africans living today are part Neanderthal. The researchers extracted DNA from Neanderthal fossils and compared it with that taken from people living today. They found that the DNA of Europeans and Asians is Neanderthal.
It's a very exciting discovery because it gives us really the first strong evidence that there was interbreeding with people like the Neanderthals. And it means that modern humans in different parts of the world may have slightly different mixes.
And the Neanderthal in me has always said Neanderthal, I stand quite corrected.
There are many jokes about people behaving like Neanderthals, but it seems the joke could be on us.
The result indicated that Neanderthals were genetically closer to Europeans and Asians than they were to Africans. It meant that somewhere along the line, European and Asian humans had picked up Neanderthal DNA.
So that was sort of quite shaking to me. I thought this must be a statistical fluke. It was not quite significant. This will surely go away when we have more.
This is the skull of a modern human.
It should surely go when we have more data. Okay. Waiting for your data.
Presence magic of gold in your blood. Melanin may hold the key to where we come from. From a scientific point of view, melanin is a biopigment that is found in all people, but there are some people that have it deposited in the skin. There's a difference between skin and neuromelanin. Neuromelanin is what's found deep in the brain and in the nervous system. It's a molecule that captures light, especially ultraviolet, and it transforms it into heat energy. And people of Africa origin have it in the skin, therefore they are tolerant of heat and the ultraviolet rays. It is an organizing molecule, as Frank Baer has said. It is a transducer of energy and it maintains the function of organizing all other molecules and the entire aspect of life, from embryonic development all the way through human functions. So it's the most versatile pigment. Presence magic of gold.
Okay. So hair as white as snow and texture is wool against a skin like burnt brass. Texture like wool against a skin like burnt brass. Interesting.
Tell them how you feel. You shake and lose and break and build, you know, go retire. You gotta jump, gotta jump, gotta jump, gotta jump, gotta jump, gotta jump. You gotta jump, gotta jump, gotta jump, gotta jump, gotta jump, gotta jump, gotta jump. You gotta jump, gotta jump, gotta jump, gotta jump, gotta jump, gotta jump. You gotta jump, gotta jump, gotta jump, gotta jump, gotta jump, gotta jump. I'm on fire, I'm on fire, I'm on fire.